What is going on? It's time for a Renee Report, which I haven't done in over a month. And I'm actually celebrating the second anniversary of the Renee Report. So I started doing videos 2 years ago, but I've actually been doing Renee Reports for the last 5 years through SoundCloud. So if you've been following me, you already know that this is probably like the 5-year anniversary. But for videos, this is the second anniversary. It was May 30th. So originally I want to say happy 30th anniversary. No, it's only been 2 years since I started doing this. So everyone who's been watching me, and especially on Instagram, IGTV, thank you for following and keeping updated with the Renee Reports. YouTube, I only started doing this about 9-10 months ago. But yeah, this is the Renee Report. So if you like celebrity gossip, movies, stuff to stream, and a little bit extra, this is your video. I am Renee. And I'm just going to get right into it. Basically, these visual Renee Reports are to talk about what I put on my podcast, which is called Renee Unedited. And that's on SoundCloud. So follow me on SoundCloud at Renee Cecilia. And the last podcast I did, I recorded it like over a week ago. I meant to do a Renee visual report last week, but I'm lazy. And it's honestly, I just don't want to get my look ready to do a report. That's really what keeps me from doing it. But I'm doing it today, so it's a little late, but oh well. Happy anniversary to me. What I talked about on the Renee Report Unedited, I had my husband along, Travis. He always sounds really good. He has a really good radio voice. Kind of jealous because he just naturally has it. I had to work at my radio voice. We talked about a few stories and stuff we watch, particularly stuff we watch on YouTube, which one particular YouTube channel we follow. So I'm just gonna get right into it. The first thing we talked about was Bennifer. So Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck are pretty much back together. They haven't confirmed it, but they've been spotted everywhere. Sources say that he really wants to be with her. They've grown in the 17 years they haven't been together. What I love about it is that I was all for them 17 years ago. So Ben Affleck was like one of my celeb boyfriends. I was in love with him. The movie Armageddon was like my movie. I was like 12 and I'm like, oh, Ben's like 10 years older than me. We could totally get married one day. And for some reason, when he got with Jennifer Lopez, I loved it because I always idolized her. So the fact that they're back together after 17 years, I'm like, ugh, I hope they confirm it, which she's kind of confirmed it on her social media. She's been posting pictures of the album she wrote when she was with him, and she had a couple songs written about him, and I think she's okay if they're back together, and hopefully it works. I'm all about people getting back together. If they had a good relationship, something happened, and there's a possibility of them getting back together, I'm all for it. So I want this to be confirmed, but they probably are waiting to confirm it because, there's probably a lot of love there, a lot of, stuff they need to work through, but I'm sure they've grown a lot in the last 17 years. They've both been married, have a couple kids, and so all for it. Second story we talked about was Jennifer Love Hewitt, the Jennifers. So I love Jennifer Love Hewitt. You got to follow her on her social media. She's so amazing. For being a child star, she's very down to earth. Like, she's one of those celebs who is very normal, I guess. Like, even with her kids, she stayed home with them for, she wouldn't work. Like, she only hires a nanny when she like really needs it. Well, she just confirmed, well, this was a while ago, she's gonna have on her third kid. She's gonna have a third child, and she's already pretty far along. So she knew about it for a while, just confirmed it. I had heard her in a podcast that she was on the fence with her husband whether they were gonna have a third child or not, but it was a big possibility. She's 42. I'm all about it. I love her, but the idea of having a third child at 42 for me is just very daunting and scary. But I think because what I've gone through with my children, to have a third child just freaks me out in general. But for her, it's like, you just are happy for her. I think that's the only thing. It's just weird for me that someone who's had 2 really good kids, and I think her older daughter's 7 or 8, and her son's 5, and it's like you're kind of starting over a little bit, but she wants to do it, and she's a really good mom. And I love how on her social media, she brings you into her life as a mom, and she enjoys it, and she loves to act still. Like, she's still on that show 911. Like, she's just one of those nostalgic actors, especially if you're my age. So I'm 35. You grew up in the 90s. You love her, so I'm so happy for her. That was pretty much it. And then we talked about Kristen Cavallari and Jay Cutler, who I could not stand Kristen in Laguna Beach. I was all Team Lauren. If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. Laguna Beach was on MTV almost 20 years ago, I would say. And her and Jay Cutler filed for divorce about a year ago. So they were together fully 10 years, married for like 8, I think, 8 or 7. They have 3 beautiful kids. They had a reality show together called Very Cavallari. You could actually still stream it on the E! Network. It was really, really good. I loved it. It was just basically to talk about her business, Uncommon James, which is like Uncommon James, not James, Uncommon James, which is all jewelry, like stuff like that. Well, not this. I don't wear her jewelry. It's kind of expensive, realistically, but like it's little stuff like this, little gold jewelry and everything. And she's now put in like a beauty line to it. Well, I guess Jay is kind of sitting on the divorce settlement because he wants part of her company. Like, he wants to get the money from the company, which he did help her with it. And she doesn't want him to have, I think, probably what I'm thinking, based on what I know of Kristen Cavallari, like just seeing her, she probably doesn't want him to have a say-so in how she handles the business. So she's stalling to really give him like creative intent, which I think he just probably wants like the money. And what we talked about in the podcast, me and Travis, like, if I started a business and if we divorce, which probably won't happen, but if it did, I would give half of everything to Travis because he supported me, and you have to think that's the parent of your children. So, but that's what I'm thinking. Kristen is really, she's a decent person, but now that I think about it, I think she doesn't want him to have creative input on the company, so she doesn't want him that involved. But who knows? That's what's going on. That's why they're not officially divorced. So we went into detail about that. Again, listen to the Renee Report Unedited on SoundCloud to get me and Travis's opinion about it. I was a little different a couple weeks ago. Now I'm like more on her side. In the podcast, I was like all about Jay Cutler. So anyways, I'm drinking wine, celebrating 2 years of the Renee Report. I wasn't even going to drink today, but might as well. Anyways, happy Tuesday. And then what else we talked about was Hack the Movie. So I don't know if you watch this. It's a YouTube channel. It's based out of Philadelphia. It's run by this guy, Tony. Travis followed them way more than I did. He goes into the whole history of Hack the Movies, but they basically, they are on twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. Monday is talk about tapes, so they talk about some movie from like the 80s and 90s. And then Thursday is more of a modern movie, but it's really good. Like, sometimes they go a little long. I've noticed some of the episodes are really long, but if you're ever bored on YouTube, just go to Hack the Movies. And Tony is like my favorite person ever. I hope I become friends with him on the internet. He's like a cross between my brother and someone else. Like, he's just a sweet guy, and you can tell like sometimes people are jerks to him, and but yeah, and they're very cynical though. So don't go in thinking, like last night they had an episode about Batman and Robin from the 90s starring George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Alicia Silverstone, and Chris O'Donnell, and Uma Thurman. And they hated it. And I was like, I love that movie. But the way they go into it, then you start to not like that movie, which they did a review of Army of the Dead, which is streaming on Netflix. They basically were like, this is not worth the watch or anything. But I watched it anyways, and it's actually pretty good. So if you want to watch a kind of weird, scary movie, and it's not the kind of movie that freaks you out. There are some jump scares, but it's kind of funny. you know, and who's the guy in it? It's the guy from, I can't even think of his name. I should really write notes for this, huh? Travis even tells me, you need to like write notes. And I'm like, but that looks stupid. That's not me. I like to just wing it. Anyways, he's the guy on Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a blue guy in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's the main character of Army of the Dead. It's good. I actually didn't finish it. I thought I did, but I didn't. So I need to finish it. But so far, so good. It's a long movie too. It's 2 hours. So anyways, that's another movie what to watch. So watch Hack the Movies on YouTube with Tony. And then Army of the Dead, which is streaming on Netflix. And the big thing I want everybody to watch is Mayor of Easttown, starring Kate Winslet. Like, if you listen to me on the radio, or if you listen to like my little Watch What Happens, or not Watch What Happens, that's another thing I watch. Bravo, love Bravo shows. Andy Cohen, love him. What to watch? Mayor of Easttown. So I just watched it one night starting. I was like, I'm just going to see one episode. I watched 3 episodes in one night. I finished the show in like a day and a half. 7 episode. It's a limited series. Mayor of Easttown starring Kate Winslet. You can stream it on HBO Max unless you have HBO. Then you can watch it whenever, I guess. So good. It's one of those shows like I would have loved to be in the room when they were storyboarding it. It's like, okay, this is going to happen in this episode, so you're going to forget about this, and then we'll bring it back into the next episode. Like, it was probably all crazy. So it keeps you, and I don't binge a lot of shows. Like, like I said, if you listen to me, like, I watch a few episodes. I don't even finish movies all the way. I binge that show. So, Mayor of Easttown. We didn't talk about that on the podcast. So that's what you have to listen to the podcast, Renee Unedited on SoundCloud, and then watch this because I give in a little bit more detail, especially if I'm really lazy and I do a Renee Report way after I have more information. Also, Raya and the Last Dragon is streaming on Disney Plus. I've seen that like 3 times. Really good movie. It's going to make you cry. It's one of those movies. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Not that long. I thought it'd be longer, but thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody who watches and, you know, likes or shares, which I don't get a lot of shares. I only have like 6 subscribers on YouTube. I think a lot more people watch my IGTV, but just, I want to thank everybody because I've been doing radio for a long time. I've been doing social media for a long time, voicing stuff for a long time, really just the visual stuff I've only been doing for 2 years. And I've been getting a few followers and I don't even know who they are. They just like to watch me. I think Reels get me a lot of followers. So if you follow me on Instagram, I do Reels of like me making like easy cocktails. Because I'm a wannabe bartender, but I could never really be a bartender because I would just drink everything. Because that's who I am, obviously. I'm drinking wine. So if you want a glass of wine right now, cheers. Unless you're watching this early in the morning. Have a mimosa. Anyways, happy anniversary to Renee Report. Visual Renee Report. I'm not slurring my words. Sounds like I am, huh? Not drunk. Am I drunk? No, I'm not. Just thank you. Thank you to everybody. Thank you for watching. Even if you don't watch the whole thing, just thank you for even clicking on this. And whatever, it's just in my teeth. No, I don't look that bad. But hope everyone has a great day. Great morning, great rest of your week, and be happy and kind to each other, which is just so important. I know that's an Ellen thing to say, but you know, it's true. My thing on the radio is be grateful for one thing a day. If you're grateful for one little thing a day, your day is a little bit better. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week and keep on watching these Renee Reports.